everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Stephanie Nipper, and I'm here to discuss all things fiber related and a little bit of book art or paper art. We'll be getting into that some further along in the videos. But for right now, what I want to talk about today is the Tour de Fleece, which starts tomorrow. I don't know about you, but I have been busy prepping for it, and I'm excited for it to begin. Sometimes I need a little bit of accountability to hold me to my goals, and I think that the Tour de Fleece is the perfect time to have that accountability. But again, stress-free. Remember, we don't want to put pressure on ourselves to hit a certain unreasonable goal. We just want to do this for fun. So I know I've done videos in the past about the Tour de Fleece, but we've had a few questions in the Facebook group about it. So I wanted to just go over how we are going to do this together as a group. And I also wanted to show you what I have prepped to spin. And you all are going to be surprised because I purposely picked color instead of my typical neutral palette, which I shouldn't say I just do neutrals, because you see behind me I have all of these beautiful colors of yarn, which I love also. It's just I find myself when I'm spinning, I so love the actual fleece itself that I sometimes hate changing its nature and changing its structure, because it can just be so beautiful. So let's get to it, and let me show you first what I have prepared for the Tour de Fleece. The first thing I've done is with this beautiful fiber here, this beautiful roving. It is silk and BFL, I believe, and I had 4 ounces of it. So what I did, it was in a roving form. So I went through and I just separated it into, I believe I got 8 strips of roving from it, and then I went through and pre-drafted like this. You can see I didn't completely draft it out, but you can see there's some airy spots in here. And I pre-drafted it because it just makes the spinning a little bit faster. And on this one, I'm just going to spin a traditional yarn from it. Probably I'll be aiming for fingering weight, so that's why I went through and pre-drafted, just to make it a little faster. And then I'll be just doing a typical 2-ply with this. Nothing fancy with this, and the reason for that is because I think this would make a beautiful shawl. I love these color variations. I think it would be really, really pretty as a shawl. It reminds me a little bit of the ocean or the sky just before the sun sets. No pinks in here for that, but I think it's really beautiful. The other roving that I prepared was this one. And I've gone ahead also, I have not pre-drafted this. I split the roving into, let's see, I think I got 8 strips from this also, but I did not draft this because this is going to be, I think, a thick and thin yarn, and then I'm going to do some fancy plying with it, which I wanted to film and show you all because I've had a lot of requests for videos on different plying methods, so that's what I wanted to do with this one. I'm not sure what I'll make with it when it's finished, but I just think these are lovely, happy colors. Reminds me of springtime, so I know I'll be doing a thick and thin yarn like this one that we spun together. So I didn't do a whole lot of fancy plying on this one, so I'm going to do different plying methods on this so that you can see the different ways a thick and thin yarn can look depending on how you ply it. Now the third thing that I've got, I have 2 of these beautiful rovings, and this I want to spin as a traditional yarn also because I want to keep that gradient intact. So what I'm going to do, because I've tried before to take 2 almost identical rovings and just spin them separately and then ply them together in a traditional way, but sometimes it ends up muddying the color transitions. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take both rovings, I'm going to pull apart each color transition, and I'm going to spin those separately. So instead of one large skein, I'm going to have several smaller skeins, and then I'll knit those together. I'm not sure what yet. To me it's saying shawl, but I could change my mind on that a little bit as it goes on. You all know you can always change your mind. You can always then, even if you're in the middle of knitting something, you can pull it out and start over. I love that about our craft. No pressure there to make it perfect, okay? So that's what I'm really going to be focusing on in the Tour de Fleece. But if by some miracle I get through all of this, I also have some mohair that I want to spin an art yarn with. Now this I've washed already. It's gorgeous. It's from Namaste Farms. And I would probably dye it after spinning. But look at that. Look at those lovely locks. I just think it's so pretty and it feels so silky. And what I would do is take the locks apart, sort of like this. Let's see if I can focus on that. And then what I want to do is spin a very, very thin lock spun yarn. So what I would do is sort of tease them apart like this, and then keeping some of the lock structure intact like that, it would just go ahead and spin like this. And I'll film that one too, because I know I'm not explaining it well, and if you're anything like me, seeing a technique demonstrated is a lot better than just hearing about it. So that's what I've got prepped for the Tour de Fleece. What about you? What are you prepping? What are you doing? I know we've talked about it some on Facebook, but I wanted to just come on here, and because not everybody can get to the Facebook group all of the time, so I wanted, and some people are not on Facebook. So even if you're not on Facebook, which is where we have the sign-ups going on for the Tour de Fleece, you can join in even if this YouTube video is the only access you have to our group. Go ahead and just let me know in the comments below if you wanted to join in, and that's just fine. Because I want as many people to participate as we can have, and I want to just keep this light and easy and fun. So, with that said, a couple of questions have been raised in the Facebook group about the Tour de Fleece. One was, do we have to spin a certain amount each day or a certain amount of yardage? And the answer to that is no. You set your own goals, you go at your own pace. Use this as just a time where you get to practice your craft. Okay, you're allowed to do it because there's this special thing going on. So you're allowed to put aside other things and focus on spinning, which makes you happy. The second thing that was asked was, can we share our progress? And the answer is, of course. I want to see what you're working on. I want to see what you're spinning, and everyone else does too. The Facebook group has been great. Everyone's sharing their work, sharing different patterns. I love it. I love seeing all of you guys come together and share your work. So of course, go ahead and post what you're doing. And then the third thing, it's not really a question, but it's an idea that I had that I wanted to run past you all, and that is, I'm thinking of doing at least one live spin-along. And so if I can figure it out, I would get on Facebook Live or probably YouTube. I think it might be a little easier on YouTube. And everyone could join in, and we could just spin together and talk together in real time, ask each other questions as we're going along, and just have sort of a get-together online that way during the Tour de Fleece. I'm tentatively thinking of July the 13th because one thing, I know I'm off work on that day already. It's a Saturday. It's a week from tomorrow. Two, we should be moving along a little bit on the Tour de Fleece. It'll be a week in, and so we should have some idea of what we're doing and how much we've already accomplished, and we can share that. And then 3, it's my birthday, and I think it would be fun to spend some time with you all just spinning together and enjoying that community feel of our craft. So, that's what I have going on for the Tour de Fleece. Um, Feel free to share your work again. Feel free to ask any questions that you have below. I'm happy to answer them. I really am trying to keep up with all of the comments that have been coming in on these videos, but it's been honestly a little overwhelming, all of the wonderful responses that I've had. Just know that even if I'm not responding to everybody, I am reading your comments, and your comments are appreciated, and they just give me the drive I need to keep on going with these videos. I've also had several ideas for new videos from people who have suggested that I do certain things. That's where the video to show different plying techniques came about. The idea from that was suggested by someone in the Facebook group. And so please just keep interacting, keep doing what you're doing. It's been great. I've loved all of the community that's being built around this craft that we all love, and I hope that we just keep it up. Oh, and one last thing, back to the Tour de Fleece, that I did want to add. That is, yes, traditionally it is for spinners, but I want to just add, if you don't spin and you want to join in the fun of just practicing your craft alongside a group, set knitting goals for yourself. Set crochet goals for yourself. Whatever art or craft you work in, join us. This isn't an exclusive group. This isn't something that's only for spinners. At least that's not how I want our group to be. I want it to be open so that anyone can join. So set knitting goals for yourself. Pull out that work in progress that you've been trying to finish but haven't been able to get through, and make it your goal to finish your sweater or your shawl or hat or socks, whatever it is you've been working on, and do that during the Tour de Fleece. After all, where does yarn come from but fleece? So it only makes sense that we allow knitters, crocheters, and everybody else to join along with us. Weavers, you too, come along with us and work with us together, because that's what this is all about, creating community around the craft that we love. So as always, thank you for watching, thank you for commenting, and I'm Stephanie Nipper. Until next time, bye-bye.